Ladies and gentlemen, I am Jimbo the Fuzzy, and welcome back to Sid Meier's Civilization 5. When we left off, we had our little warrior guy healing, but I screwed up, I forgot what button I was pushing, and had him move again. This is going to be a regular for me. It does give us a little more time to get our scout over here if we want to fight, but I've been thinking about that. We are next to last in terms of happiness. How? 17? How do you have... and 50... Pocatello, how do you have 11? Truffles dies. More truffles. Gotta be something more than that. You probably get a bonus based on the difficulty. 9 from difficulty. +2 luxuries, yeah. Kinda, you'd be at 12. I guess I can see that. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is have this guy heal a couple of turns. My settler's gonna wait. I'm going to have this warrior heal a couple of turns, and then get ready to come back to Rio. This guy is better in melee combat on flat terrain, which we have some around Rio, but we also have some up here. I don't know how much we have up here. I need to scout that. So, let's move the scout to right here and see what we see. Alright, you have 53 HP. That's enough to start you back. And you have 59. I would like a little more, but for the moment that should be enough. Move you here. I'm gonna move the settler with you. And now, let's go next turn.
मेरे दोस्त, क्या इस इंतज़ाम में आपकी दिलचस्पी है?
Excellent, yes.
हम सहमत.
Good. Now we're getting a little money to staunch the bleeding, but we're still losing money. Alright. We know where that guy is. And let's get up here. Spearman. Okay, not exactly great. I want to get around this guy if possible. And yeah, it is possible. It'll just be a little bit tricky. However, it's easily doable. Relatively easily. Now, yeah, it's throwing out city locations, and yeah, I can see some of them as being really useful. But again, the AI, as I said in my Civilization 6 series that I did, I'm pretty sure the AI is evaluating all these based off the immediately adjacent tiles and maybe one ring further out. It doesn't do the full 3 rings. Too often it misses things. I have seen it miss placements that have far better 3-ring layouts than 1 or 2 ring layouts. So, Singapore's under attack and would like help with barbarians. Alright, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the settler and move it to right here. And I'm gonna take my warrior and move it to my settler. And now I have a barbarian hand axe that can't attack me. I also have a scout that's showing me everything in the area, which is good. I'm gonna have a scout wait a turn. Now this guy can come down here and just brutalize this spearman. Just brutalize him utterly. Despite being at, half strength. With... Just did 35 damage and he took 21. We just knocked off over a third of his strength, despite only being at half strength ourselves. That is how powerful the shock bonus can be on flat ground. That means the enemy's not going to have any defenses whatsoever. They're going to attack us back, and we're going to win that fight, and then we can fortify until healed, and just keep tanking the entire war. Well, not war, but, each conflict. Now we go to next turn. I don't know how long it'll be until the Shoshone manage to build another settler. They have to be close.
Do not wait to strike till the iron is hot, but make it hot by striking.
Alright, now we can get swordsmen. Swordsmen are really good. In fact, I hope to be able to show you how good they are. Now, I'm in an interesting situation. I move my warrior here, which will be melee combat here. Or, I can move him to right here. Which is where my I'm going to move with my settler. Now, what I am going to do, though, is move this scout up. I'm going to go... Now I get a fortification bonus, and I'm going to heal 20 HP. I've been thinking about the social policies, and I noticed one I forgot about. Fine arts under aesthetics. 50% of excess happiness added each turn to the amount of culture that may be spent on social policies. We've got 4 happiness right now. We are about to get 4 more as soon as this marble finishes. So, that is just incredible for us. It is a lot of culture production very quickly. Now, if we kept working our way to legalism, that'd also be really good because it would save 1 gold in our capital. But, on the other hand, that's just a lot of culture right there. So I'm going to say yes. We can swing back and pick up tradition, legalism later. Especially since we can get that monarchy and landed elite. Monarchy especially. Less unhappiness and more gold? Yes, please. Also, research. We need to say where we're going on research. And I think the answer is going to be theology. We're really trying to get that religion out. We really have a solid reason. Also, one minor interface difference between Civilization 5 and Civilization 6. You'll notice how this science icon is bubbling. There's a little sort of bubbling beaker effect on the background, instead of how it's black here, or yellow here, or green here. And then you see the 1 by theology. That means this is the first one in the queue after our current thing. Civilization 6, they just go with the numbers. So it's like, 1 is whatever you're working on now, 2 is whatever comes next, and so on and so forth. Just a minor difference, not necessarily better or worse, but something to be aware of if you're trying to switch between the 2 games. Now, What have we left? 3 turns until we've got our caravan done. That's good. We lost out on Stonehenge. While defending, your warrior, 18 damage, killed a barbarian spearman and got 10 culture for it. How is that calculated? Okay, yeah, that's a major defeat. But we don't have really anything we can do to prevent them. We don't have any good ways to run away. Unless we're going to go across the river to get even more of a bonus. Get plus 20% for river crossing attack. On top of the, plus 30% from shock 1 and 2. Plus another 40% for combat. Plus another 40% for fortification. Plus yeah. We're currently looking at something like 163% extra combat strength. Though I don't think we actually need it. And that might just open us up to archers. There's probably an archer right there. On the other hand, if we move into the forest right here, that will save us. Because we can then move to here, then move to here, and move into our own terrain where we have a bigger where we're protected. So I am going to run away from this fight for now. I am going to send this worker over to work on the spices. And I'm going to have the settler. Well, no. I'm not going to have the settler do anything yet. And the scout come over here. Now here's my issue. Go right here. I know what I'm getting. But if I move to right here, I still get the iron. That's within 3 tiles. But I get less jungle. And what I really want is a city with a whole lot of jungle. And I kind of feel like I need to go right here to get that as fully as I want. Even though that means seriously bumping borders up against Melsankani. Which is not something I want to do right now. So instead I'd be bumping up against Budapest. That's not good either. My other good expansion option's probably down here, which is going to put me up against India. To be fair, I don't really have any good, really good expansion options. One of my best is right here. Which gets me more horses. It'll give me some wheat. And they'll give me this Fountain of Youth. And it gives me a kind of okay amount of rainforest. Do I want to be fighting the Shoshone over border disputes? Not really. At the same time, rivers. Rivers are worth a lot. Is it worth the extra cost? And this is hard to calculate on the fly, especially when I don't know enough about the terrain up here. So you know what I am gonna do? I'm gonna move to right here. Why am I moving it to right here, and why am I moving my warrior with it? The reason is, if going right here is the better option, which I hope to find out with my scout next turn, then I can build the city. If it's not, then I can go right here and build a city, or I can move fully to right here. Actually, thinking about that, I should have just moved to right here and ended my turn. But I wasn't thinking that clearly. I wasn't thinking about right here as a viable spot, which really is with those sheep. Oh, waste of a turn. Oh well. Lost down Stonehenge. Got marble, which means more on ancient and classical era wonders. Rio de Janeiro. Citizen management. Probably just unselect him and say reset tiles. Yeah, that tile's getting work now, just because it's so valuable. It's 5 yield. And we also have this. Good news is, though, that because I've got the jungle right nearby, and my city will be working that, I'll automatically be getting the culture yields to help it grow, so I don't necessarily need the monument instantly. Which is a good call. Alright. Next turn. Let's see how badly I can screw everything up. Answer fairly well. Alright, let's start with the constructed plantation. What this is going to do first is it's going to clear the forest, which is going to give me some production in my capital. I don't know where the production is going to go towards yet, but we'll find out. And then it'll build the plantation here. So, building a plantation for these bananas will clear the jungle, which will cost me culture, and I'm not sure I'm ready to do that yet. That's probably the only tile of jungle within, in city range. Yeah. I did not get a good luck of the draw with my capital. But, you get what you get. So move here, and then here, and that tells me absolutely nothing. Well, it tells me a little. There's a marsh on this tile. And there is there's jungle on this tile. I can tell just by looking at the border. Because right here, if you look through the fog, you can see the tile effect, the tile art here of the top of trees. And those trees are the same ones you see right over here on this jungle tile. And which are they're the more palm tree-like shape, I guess would be the best example. As opposed to the round bushy shape in the forest you see just to the north of it. I don't know, it's hard to tell, but you get used to looking at it, looking for it after a while. If nothing else, you can look at the bottom here and see these very palm tree-like shapes, which are also the light green in the jungle tile. So I can tell this is a jungle. I don't know if there's anything special in that jungle, but I know it is a jungle. I also know that there's a marsh in this tile, because I can see the little blue lines of the marsh, and it looks like there's also one in this tile. Just to compare, here are a couple of marsh tiles. Right along here. And there are some more right here along near the coast and south of Rio de Janeiro. Southwest. That is a bit of an art. Well, not art, but it's a skill you develop. So I can say there's plains here, probably plains here, probably plains here, definitely forest here. The reason it works is because you're looking down on the map at an angle. And because you're looking down on the map at an angle, the, what's the word? Because you're looking down on the map at an angle, the layer of the clouds, which is represents the fog of war, is on a higher level. So you're not looking straight down and being blocked by the clouds. You're coming down through the angle, and you can kind of get a peek under the clouds. And when it's a big mass like this, that doesn't help. But you can still get it when it's just trying to check out the edges of what am I looking into here. It's a useful trick to know. Monaco still likes us, but we really need to get them to like us more. We don't have the money to buy more influence with them. And they don't have any quests. So we're going to lose that. We're going to lose the horses in a few turns. So getting these is going to be more important. That's just as much. I think, though, that as a result of that, putting the city right here is not as wise of a decision. Yes, it's on the river, and rivers give bonuses. However, it is also further away from the jungle. Rivers give bonuses to trade routes primarily. And having the iron... having access to the sheep is going to be worth more. Having the horses lets us get the circus through trapping. Once we research that tech. If we decide to go back and grab that now instead of finishing off drama and poetry and then going into theology. It also lets us build the water wheel, which gives +2 food, +1 production, but that costs 2 gold. Is it worth it? Perhaps. So the question is, well, if we build a city here or here, if we build a city on the river, we're not getting the horses. And we need those horses. So it's a moot point, which means right over here is going to be our best bet. Alright. For this, I'm going to move into here. I'm going to move the settler into here. Now this warrior is going to move to right. Right here. Feels safest. Now it is safe. Hope that hand axe doesn't move. There's the Shoshone. We're definitely in the habit. Alright, now we have a caravan in Rio de Janeiro. First, though, I'm going to piss off the Shoshone by building Sao Paulo here. I could, if I really wanted to, really piss them off by declaring war and stealing their settler right now. Okay, let's see what Sao Paulo's doing first. It's working this, which means we've got 15 turns until border growth, which is going to give us the horses. Good. I think. How much of these yeah, I've got no money for tiles. We're getting lots of food. A net of +3. So that means we're going to get somebody new in 5 turns, which is really good. Fortunately, it's also going to make a dent in our happiness. And I gotta say, I really, really, really am tempted to just declare war on the Shoshone and grab that settler right now. I am, however, going to attack the barbarian hand axe from my city, despite being at the disadvantage. And I'm going to send this caravan. Alright. Trade routes in Civilization 5 are somewhat different than Civilization 6. Well, the Brave New World is when these were introduced. And they were carried over with some alterations in Civilization 6. Monaco gives me 3 gold per turn, and they get 1 gold per turn from me building a trade route to them. Budapest, I get 2 gold per turn, and they get 1 gold per turn. Why is that? Well, different resources. In the case of Monaco, I get 3 gold because they have horses, and I don't. I have marble, and they don't. So, between the two of them, that adds 1 gold per turn. We add gold on top of that, in this case, 0.25, based on the city gold production at both the origin and destination. And because we're next to a river, we get a 25% bonus. That is a very, very, very strong advantage. Which is one of the reasons you do want to settle next to rivers. Budapest, there's just the marble. So we're losing that bonus, which drops us down 2.5 gold per turn instead of 3.12. On top of that, Monaco's a lot safer because we have vision along the entire route already. It's a lot harder for barbarians to sneak in. So we are going to go with Monaco. But before we do that, in Civilization 6, trade route values are determined based on primarily based on what districts are at the destination. Here it's based on what the origin and the destination both have, and what they have that is different. At least for foreign trade routes. For internal, that's a little different, and we will get to that a little bit later. So, yes, I am sure I'm going to send this. This scout is going to come, and as I said, there is a jungle here. I did not know there was cocoa. Cocoa would have been valuable to know. And I am going to move into right here. This warrior is going to move to right here for safety. And now I'm going to actually choose production. Or rather, I'm going to put that off to the next episode. Because we are over our time limit. And I need to think about it anyway. Thank you very much for watching. I have been Jimbo the Fuzzy, and I hope to see you again next time.